My wife and I are listening to number 42 in the series on Romans by Budjen, and I'm amazed at how he presents the devil and the way I'm hearing this, because obviously there's two great forces in life, and the greatest would be God, and he seems to be illustrating the point between God and that other force, God's enemy, the devil, and the Bible calls him the God of this world, and what Aaron seems to be saying, or at least what I'm hearing, and I believe the Spirit within me is showing me that our God is the God and Lord of love and acceptance and help and understanding and peace and all those good things. And obviously, no one would argue the devil is the Lord, you might say, or the God of the opposite of those things. But in a way, he's also the Lord of the law. Once a person is under the law, they are forever a sinner, and they are forever in a bad light in respect to their God. They are in a bad condition with him because the wages of sin is death, and everyone sins. So to be under the law, the devil is your Lord in that system under the law, because he determines the most important factor in your life, and that's your identity. And your identity under law is that of a sinner. Your identity with God is that of a child who's loved and accepted. And that's why it is great that he is Lord, that he makes us his children through his own work and his own love. And I found that to be interesting. And then to submit oneself willingly, voluntarily to the law, in effect, is to submit oneself to the devil, because you are bound by his rules. It really is his rules. I know that God gave it. I mean, the God of this world did not give the law, but the devil uses it to his advantage. And yet God came along and said, you're free from that now. You're free to live in my love, and let me be your Lord and not the law, i.e. the devil. And yet we still choose the other one. And what's amazing to me too, says the wages of sin is death, and most of us, or at least I can't speak for most of us, I always thought of it as the wages of sin against the law. In other words, if I break one of the commandments, but the simple fact is sin was in the world from Adam, and what was the thing that killed Adam? It was sin. It wasn't sin against the law, it was sin against the Lord. And we can see in that first sin, it wasn't a commandment. It wasn't obey this, obey that, do this, don't do that type of thing. It was trust me. That was the ultimate sin. And that's what illustrates our work in the law is basically trust in self, trust in ourselves to be able to keep the law, as opposed to trusting in him, because that first sin that caused the fall was in effect trusting in law, because they were going to trust in their own ability to know good and evil and to do accordingly and become like God, as opposed to being with him. As I like to say, they wanted to know something to be somebody instead of just knowing someone and being near him. And that's what killed them. That's what takes away life. Law takes away life. Paul said the letter kills and the spirit gives life.